No,
Nintendo Planet.
it sends the ship into warp drive to God knows where, so everyone's like on edge. Like Spock and Scotty like physically get into it for a little bit.
That's right.
Kirk has to play peacekeeper, and then there's a fight in the engineering room, and the Klingons take over
the engineering deck,
and they start to shut off life support to other areas of the ship.
Yep.
But then it just comes back on by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people from the fight, like that were in sickbay, they're healed up.
Right, and angrier than ever.
Yeah. And so it seems like the alien wants to do some kind of like weird war games type thing.
Right, over and over and over again, making them angrier and angrier, but nobody really ever gets to die.
Yeah, exactly. So Chekhov gets super rapey with a Klingon lady.
Yeah, that was really uncomfortable.
Like
the natural assumption that aggression goes hand in hand with rape, and I guess maybe it does, like historically speaking. But it's so out of character.
Well, I mean, like he's got like the
alien anger,
the alien mojo in him.
It's just But
it's like he's like, your people killed my brother. Out of respect to him, I'm going to rape you.
I'm going to take it out on your pussy.
I'm going to pound. You pounded the life out of my brother. I'm going to pound that pussy.
But I guess maybe the fact that he's a 19-year-old poonhound makes it creepier. It's like getting date raped at a frat party.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly like that.
It's like that scene in Unbreakable when he's like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then he shuts the door. You had a lot to drink, huh?
And then Chekhov, like, just back in Russia, like, hey, like...
meeting his parents. Yeah. He's gotten off the Enterprise. They're hugging him, and Bruce Willis is standing horrified in a corner. Oh, the world is full of bad people! Which one should I kill?
So, like, yeah, he gets really rapey with this lady over his dead brother, but it turns out that he's an only child.
So there is no brother, no reason to rape.
There's no brother, no rape. There ain't no brother, there ain't no reason to smother a woman.
Just remember that.
Remember.
Use that mnemonic device to remember when and when it's not appropriate to rape, I guess.
Exactly.
In wartime?
In wartime.
Yeah.
So Kirk finds him and beats the shit out of him. Like, actually just, like, backhands him twice and, like, knocks him out.
No!
So they figure out the alien is feeding off their fear and anxiety, and it's probably just set this whole thing up as a grand feast. He's like, tonight... we feast!
In hell!
So the Klingon lady tries to tell the Klingon commander, but he's like, fuck that, I want to duel with Kirk to the death. And they start to fight, and he's like stabbed, like Kirk lets himself get stabbed, like in the chest. And then he's like, I'm fine, see? Like, this alien isn't going to let any of us die, just wants us to, like, fight over and over and over forever and ever and ever. Mm-hmm. Stop being such a dick, listen to me.
Right.
And so they just, like, laugh the alien away.
Yeah.
They, like, chum it up, and the alien leaves.
And,
which is what I'm saying, like, the payoff doesn't work.
Right. And the Klingon slaps Kirk on the back so hard that he stumbles.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
We don't need a reason to hate humans. Ha 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 ha.
But yeah, they chum it up, and that's how they...
And literally, there's a shot of the pinwheel flying out into space. Scared away by positive emotion.
So, good episode, bad ending.
I really liked the way Kirk actually beat up Chekhov when he caught him raping. Like, that was a nice Kirk moment where he did the right thing.
Yeah, he was like, dude, I don't give a shit if they are, mortal enemies.
Right. I mean, so often the character behaves in ways that you and I have not approved of in the past, but in that instance, it was like, okay, that's the Kirk I like.
But, so...
beating up rapists.
Our next episode is Plato's Stepchildren. The Enterprise...
Philosophy Planet.
The Enterprise... I'm going to keep this synopsis short and simple because there's a much bigger aspect to this that needs to be addressed that we should spend more time talking about. They go to this planet, and there's a little person, there's a dwarf.
Mm-hmm. Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah?
Believe so.
Okay.
And so, and everyone else has mind powers on the planet. Andrew doesn't, but everyone else does.
Right.
And so they make Spock and Kirk like dance, like they make them like be all silly and humiliate them,
mm-hmm.
and they make the Andrew ride Kirk like a pony.
Yeah, there's a lot of humiliation theater.
Well, it turns out that there's a coronide mineral. That's the reason they went there, is for this mineral.
Right.
And that the planet's rich with it, and that's the reason that they all have the mind bullets.
Right. And the only reason Andrew didn't have it was because of the thing that caused dwarfism in him, right?
So Bones injects Kirk with it, and so that he uses that to,
get the drop. To
beat the dude's ass mind. I guess
right.
If the brain has an ass, Kirk kicked it.
Right? With his own brain's foot.
And so he was like, hey, you shouldn't be fucking dicks.
Right.
You have a great thing that you could be, like, you have these...
incredible powers.
There's an amazing potential. Don't be assholes. And he's like, we won't. And it's like, okay, well, good, but we're going to check on you, too.
Right.
I guess.
This time we'll let you get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But Andrew leaves with them, right?
Yeah, he's like, this isn't where I need to be. Right. And so, like, this should have been a backdoor pilot to, like, Andrew and the
space.
Andrew and the
Tyrion Lannister of space.
And, the tagline would have been something like, to a person this small, the universe seems even bigger.
That's the one-page ad and TV guide.
Yeah, exactly. Premiering on NBC this fall.
I assume like NBC was engineering like what they would call Sci-Fi Fridays.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would have been Star Trek, American Doctor Who, like whatever. What was the?
Fuck, what was it? Simon Earth.
Simon Earth and
Andrew amongst the stars.
Andrew and Star Drew. or what they would do is they would do the backdoor pilot, but it fails, but they still like the character. So halfway through season 1 of Assignment Earth, they bring him in as, sort of the comic relief character.
Exactly.
And his attempts to get with Terry Garr are the source of no end of amusement.
Yeah, like, will they, won't they?
Exactly. Because there's palpable chemistry between them.
For sure. The reason this episode is so well known, or I guess
hailed in television history. It's an important moment in TV history.
There's a scene where Kirk, a white man, kisses Uhura, a African American woman. Yes. A Caucasian man and an African American woman, black and white, ebony and ivory, living together in harmony.
It's the first interracial kiss in television history, or at least American television history. I don't know what they were doing.
In England, they don't give a shit. They're like,
we're all white.
Like it was kind of a big deal when we saw them like fucking like on BBC Two. Like it was kind of like, oh, I've never seen like full frontal, like full penetration, like
interracial.
Like, but it's 1935. It's about time for that. Cheerio.
Tut tut.
But
see the new Doctor Who.
But yeah, it was a big deal, and the writers it's not any of this, it doesn't, it's partly like, we're going to show this because, like, we don't think it's a big deal, and it shouldn't be a big deal.
Right.
But they also kind of, like, backpedal off it. It's a result of those people with the mind bullets, like, controlling both Kirk and Uhura.
Right.
And like, they're like, kiss for us as they fucking jerk off.
Yeah, exactly. The kiss itself is not romantic at all.
No, it's not like...
It's humiliating for them both.
Yeah.
And Kirk has rage in his eyes as his only partially closed lips press up against hers.
Yeah, it's not... It's kind of like what you would think like a junior high play kiss would be.
Right.
Or not even junior, like maybe like... I guess
or little kids trying to figure out how it works.
Like how to kiss. They just like press their lips together.
Right, like a baby trying to kiss their mom or dad.
There's no tongue.
No, there's no softness or tenderness to it.
No, it's just like they just press their lips together.
Right, and so it feels sort of like they engineered it so that they got to have their cake and eat it too, because they have the moment, but at the same time they don't make it in any way a good thing that it happened.
Yeah.
Although I did like Uhura, she's got a really nice speech in that scene about how he makes her not afraid.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought that was really nicely written. I thought the script in this one was pretty good.
So they thought that, overall it was a decent episode.
Yeah, totally decent.
A little silly at times, but like the idea
that comes with Trek, though. It gets silly sometimes.
The idea of absolute power corrupts absolutely, that sort of thing. And then like I really like the end where Andrew's like, I don't want to be here, like
Yeah, take me away.
Like just the idea, like, because usually it would seem like no, like I'm gonna
Andrew will be your king.
Like no, not even that, but like just like
or
Andrew,
we'll treat Rudolph better from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
Rudolph's like, fuck you, I'm leaving the North Pole.
Like, fuck this, I'm out. Like,
I hope you die in that snowstorm, Santa.
I hope you crash your sleigh in the fog.
I hope no children get toys this year. Peace, fuckers.
So apparently people like the crew, the producers and all that, whatever, they were worried that they get backlash. But we were talking about this earlier.
Right.
How, like, if you're watching Star Trek at this point, like in the 60s, you realize it's a progressive show, and you enjoy that about yourself.
Right.
You yourself, you're probably progressive minded as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of like a modern
it's
analogy.
Like it's like people who went to go see Brokeback Mountain. It allowed you to basically feel progressive while watching what's essentially a straight movie that just happens to be about two gay people. It's framed in a very traditional love story manner. The men are both very masculine. There's nothing effeminate about them, but you could go see it and be like, I'm progressive. I watched Brokeback Mountain. And that's sort of what this episode of Star Trek, I think, did, too. Mm-hmm. It's sort of this thing where it's like, it's not pushing so far forward that it's, like, uncomfortable, but at the same time, it allows you to sort of make that jump.
But at the same time, though, it'd be, like, it's not a perfect analogy because at this point, we're, like, 60 episodes into Star Trek?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be...
That's true. You've got a pretty good idea what you're in for.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like if Brokeback Mountain was or like Queer as Folk or something like that. Like if
you're shocked by the gay sex in season 4.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, what the hell? Like these two dudes, I just saw these two dudes kiss. Like, what's going on?
What's going on? What happened?
Like you know what you're in for.
An excellent point.
Noted. But so they thought they were going to get this backlash, but they didn't really get as much as they thought. Right. But there was one white Southerner, this is on the Wikipedia for this episode, one white Southerner who wrote, quote, I am totally opposed to the mixing of the races. However, anytime a red-blooded American boy like Captain Kirk gets a beautiful dame in his arms that looks like a hura, he ain't gonna fight it.
So, it's like he said...
It's like,
don't have a baby.
Yeah, like,
but you gotta
wear a condom.
Right.
If you're gonna...
Don't spill your seed in a black.
But
But definitely, spill your seed.
But, get your nut off.
Get your nut off.
But make sure you got a cap on, or, it goes in her mouth or in the
belly.
So
is that progressive for an ignorant racist?
I guess that's as progressive as it's going to get,
For him.
It's like he acknowledges that her whore is a beautiful woman.
Exactly.
He just doesn't want...
He thinks she should be with a beautiful black man. An ebony king.
He's like, oh, like, she's dating that guy? Like, she deserves much better than him. Like, she needs to be dating, like, Idris Elba or something like that. Idris Elba. Like, no homo. He's a good-looking man.
Yeah.
But I don't want him, boning down with, let's say, a Julia Roberts.
Right. No, that's wrong. It's morally wrong.
It's against God's will.
It's gross.
Look, ugly's ugly,
and pretty's pretty.
And pretty's pretty. Idris Elba's a very, very pretty man.
Right. Keep the black print separate but equal.
Like, Jeb, we're gonna cut you off now.
Who's
the
that?
Bartender. Like, she was like, you've had enough.
But, all right.
I'll see you later.
I'm totally opposed to the mixing of beer and whiskey, but anytime you got a beer and a shot next to you, you ain't gonna fight it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his explanation as he's standing waiting for the cab to come take him home.
Oh goodness! All right. So he's explaining to the taxi driver on the way home. The guy's like, I gotta fucking move out of Mobile.
This guy's got one idea. But it's not okay to put things together except when it is.
It's not good unless it is. It's a very confused man.
He wants to do the right thing, but he's so confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
So our next episode, wink of an eye. The Enterprise gets a distress call to the planet Skalos.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a landing party. I'm trying to remember. Like I watched both. I watched Wink of an Eye and That Which Survives last night.
And they're kind of similar-ish.
I mean,
they're both forgettable episodes about a woman wreaking havoc with the Enterprise crew. Oh, an alien woman.
And so, but yeah, I watched these, and my allergies both today and yesterday are just kicking my butt.
That's what you get for going to the Ren Fair.
Yeah, well,
for going to Cleavage Town.
I went to Cleavage Town and mucked up with my sinuses. So I spent last night watching both these episodes in an Allegra-induced haze. Like, just kind of like I remember at one point I fell asleep and had to I just kind of dozed off and had to rewind and catch. I think it was Wink of an Eye that I had to rewatch a little bit. So